welcome to another edition of the Acid Trash Jamboree and to another episode of Hallucinatory Horror Highlights, which is a mini-series dedicated to films with a dreamlike, nightmarish or trippy, druggy, hallucinatory feel. In this particular video, I'll be discussing 3 films from the 1970s, arguably the most fertile decade for this type of cinema. So yeah, let's get the ball rolling with Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay. In this film, 2 girls, Françoise and Anna, are on a road trip through the French countryside when they decide to stop off at an inn for a drink. The place is overrun with creepy country bumpkins, as well as an even creepier silver-haired dwarf who stares at them incessantly. Understandably feeling uneasy, the girls hit the road again, but end up lost in the dark and low on petrol. Ditching the car, they find an empty barn to spend the night in, and sure enough, they're romantically involved with one another, so before bedding down, they get frisky. Come the morning, Anna is nowhere to be seen, and Françoise starts to panic when the dwarf from the inn reappears. He promises Françoise that he'll show her where Anna went, leading her through the woods until they come to a vast lake. She boards a small white boat and drifts towards a castle on the opposite shore, where a trio of females in brightly coloured gowns await her. Once inside the castle, Françoise is introduced to an enigmatic woman named Morgana and the rest of her entourage, which mostly consists of scantily clad nymphets, as well as a group of sinister old hags. But what does it all mean for Françoise, and what was the deal with that weird dwarf? So yeah, this folk horror fairy tale was directed by Bruno Gantillon, though at times you'd swear you were watching a prime-era Jean Rollin movie, such as its gently dreamy, surreal, erotic drift. Admittedly, it's low on scares and menace, being primarily concerned with exploring the mysteries of Morgana's realm. But if you like the aforementioned Rollin classics, as well as stuff like Valerie and Her Week of Wonders, V, or maybe Lemora, A Child's Tale of the Supernatural, then you'll most likely want to give this one a go as well. Girl Slaves also sports a nice kind of folksy psychedelic score, courtesy of one Cisco El Rubio, aka the late Francois de Roubaix. I really hope I've pronounced that right, who also did the music for Harry Kumel's Daughters of Darkness. Next up, we've got 7 Women for Satan. And yeah, it seems that sadism runs in the family if you're a Zaroff. During the week, Count Boris, played by Michel Lemoine, works a normal job in an office, though at the weekends he's taken to picking up gorgeous young women and driving them back to his chateau, then offing them in assorted gruesome ways. Could the family's sinister butler, Carl, played by the legend Howard Vernon, have something to do with Boris's funny turns? And who's the ghostly lady in white that keeps appearing in and around the place? Now, whilst Lemoine also wrote and directed this, again, to all intents and purposes, this could be mistaken for being the work of Jean Rollin, though on this occasion in a delirious collaboration with that other master of Euro-exploitation, Jess Franco. Yeah, with its uncanny atmosphere, dream logic narrative, and obsession with naked and occasionally bloodied female flesh, you'd swear that at least one of them was responsible for this. Opening in full-on The Most Dangerous Game, human hunting mode, 7 Women for Satan soon goes off-piste, getting odder and more surrealistic the deeper you go. Yeah, the plotting is vague at best. You can pick up a loose sense of what might be going on, but try and pull all the strands together and they'll most likely dissipate like smoke through your fingers. Not that any of that will matter, of course, if you're already a fully committed weirdo Euro trash freak. Yeah, there's definitely more than enough on offer in this one to keep you entertained from start to finish. Yeah, personally speaking, this is one of my absolute favourites. Up there with Roland's Vampire Cycle and Franco's A Virgin Among the Living Dead, which, funnily enough, depending on which version you watch, ended up as an actual Franco-Roland joint effort. Though actually in this case I prefer the Franco-only original cut. Anyway, Seven Women is spooky, sensual, strange, and savage. So yeah, it's got something for everyone, sort of. So we finish this episode with a look at Malatesta's Carnival of Blood. And yeah, this USA weird fest doesn't have too much of a plot to boast about, but it more than delivers the goods on the surrealistic, nightmarish side of things, playing out like the somewhat malnourished stepchild of contemporaneous classics like Messiah of Evil and Let's Scare Jessica to Death. So yeah, in this one we follow three members of the Norris family, a mother, father and a daughter. They're stationed at the carnival for the summer as the youngster has landed a job there working on a stall. Though actually this is all a cover. The real reason that they're there is to look for their missing son who disappeared after visiting the place. So the Norrises are shown around by a chap named Mr. Blood, and are soon introduced to another wholesome-looking family who also vanish under mysterious circumstances whilst riding on the Tunnel of Love. I'll be honest, the first couple of times that I watched this, the bit about the missing son completely passed me by. Not that it matters that much, as at this point in the film, any semblance of a storyline ceases to be of any importance. But yeah, it turns out that the carnival is home to a whole host of hostile characters. Another sinister dwarf, a demented litter picker, not to mention a colony of zombified cannibals who reside in the caverns beneath the roller coaster. So yeah, basically all innocent parties are in mortal danger and need to get the hell out of there ASAP. So yeah, this most definitely cruises by with the barest minimum of point and reason. So if you're after something deep and meaningful, forget about it. What Malatesta's Carnival of Blood delivers instead, and by the truckload, is utterly incomprehensible and strange visuals, not to mention, as I said before, a genuinely nightmarish atmosphere, which actually left me a bit weirded out the first time I saw it. You know, as if I'd just woken up from a bad dream myself. Yeah, throw in some satisfying gore and a crude electronic score, and yeah, this is absolutely my kind of film. Nowadays, Malatesta is much easier to find in a physical format than it ever used to be, having since been released on Blu-ray by Arrow Films a few years back. Typically, I was on the lookout for it ages before this version even came out. So yeah, the obscure old DVD that you see here, I think was self-released by the director Christopher Speeth in about 2003, and took much diligent eBay scouring to track it down. Oh well. So yeah, that wraps up another edition of Hallucinatory Horror Highlights. If these kinds of movies are your thing, there's plenty more to come in the not too distant future. So yeah, please hit subscribe to be kept fully up to date. Thanks as ever for watching, and I'll see you again on the next episode of the Acid Trash Jamboree.